Hey everybody, this is Curtis from PSNStores.com. Today we're going to take a look at Grand Kingdom. This is published by NIS. It is out today, or out this week, on PS4 and Vita. We're taking a look at the Vita version. I'm playing on the PlayStation TV here. We were sent Vita codes earlier, and so that's the version I've been playing. I don't think it doesn't have cross-save at all. So I've just kind of stuck to this version. So it has, as far as like differences, I don't know. I haven't played the PS4 version at all. We actually did not get codes for the PS4 version yet, at least. So it seems to run fine. The only thing is like there's a lot of loading. The loading times aren't super long, but there's a lot of it. But they haven't really had a negative impact on me. So other than that, it seems to be fine. The background here, this like menu, the way it kind of pans kind of in and out in a way. It's, I don't know if it's supposed to be like this, the way it's kind of very, jittery in a way. I don't know, it looks very strange. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be or anything. I don't know. But anyways, so Grand Kingdom, I have played about, like 6 hours of this so far. It's a pretty interesting game. We're gonna go through, there's a lot to cover here, so I'm gonna do my best to try to cover as much as I can, but there is a lot. There's a major online element to this that I've only barely scratched the surface of, so let's waste no more time. Let's just get into it. So first of all, we're gonna go to the capital, and we have a couple choices here. We can go to Land Earth or Valkyr. Let's go to Land Earth. So there's this like element of like joining certain factions, and that kind of plays into the online element, the wars you'll fight. This is Flint. Flint is one of the people in your crew. He's I don't know, he's kind of mean towards Lilia here. Lilia is very nice. Flint is kind of the guy who's ready to go in charging, you know, without much of a second thought. You know, he doesn't really give a whole lot of thought to things. He's just gonna rush in. Whereas Lilia is a bit more like, hey, we should be careful. We should, you know, we should think about this. We should think things through before we do something really dumb. And so they obviously butt heads a lot. So let's go through. Okay, so there's a few different things you can do here. You can go to the plaza, and that will let you talk to some different NPCs, and they might give you hints of things going on. You can go to the Royal Castle. Which I guess we can do that. I don't think I've done this yet, actually. It's kind of the thing that has recently opened up to me.
Ah, it seems we are ever in your debt. Now, give me your report.
You can check your battle records at the castle. Also, you may receive a handsome reward from the leader. Okay. Alright, so this also is going to play into the online element, so I haven't done any online battles or anything, so that... Quest history 2... Oh, maybe that... Okay, that might be talking about some of the side quests then. And then I think this is... I think I've done more than that. I don't know.
This is
It feels like I've done more than 7 quests.
So that can face them.
Okay. You can go to the barracks. There's some stuff here again. We're gonna skip over some of this stuff. I'm gonna try to my best just to cover some basic stuff. There's a shop. There's a blacksmith, trading post. So that stuff should be pretty self-explanatory. You can craft items at the blacksmith. You can upgrade or not items, but weapons and things like that. So the major part of Grand Kingdom is you're building out troops, or you're building out sets of troops here. So let's go to I believe it's policy. Hire member. Okay. So let's go to hire. We'll hire somebody. So you can have up to, I believe, 6 different troops. Each troop you can have 4 members in your party. So you're gonna, you know, you're gonna set up your party how you normally would in an RPG. You'll want like a healer or you'll want maybe a knight or an archer or a thief or a mage, or, you know, any number of different things. So there's mostly I've stuck to one troop so far, but I did actually hire somebody else to join a second troop. So let's look at what we got. So some of these seems to, there are more options than this, but it seems like sometimes they shuffle them in and out. So we've got, let's see, we've got an arcanist. So this shows your type and then the weapon. We've got an archer. We've got a gunner. Blacksmith. We've got this cool dragon mage. So let's actually use let's do a dragon mage. Let's hire her. So you can randomize the name. I don't believe it. Or does it? Okay, yeah, it does let you. I've just kind of been sticking to random names for the most part. Let's go with I don't know. Olivia, that sounds good. So you get some like customization options here. What's one that looks cool? You know, I think I like that one. I like blue. Then you change your hairstyle. Let's see. See if we find something good. Sure. Hear your voice.
Take my turn now. That was close. Take that.
Sure. And then you get some points that you can allocate to different stats. Let's kind of focus on what she already has pretty high up, I guess. So we'll do like 4 and 4, I guess. She has joined the Rock Hoppers, so I did name my whole group the Rock Hoppers. I guess we'll hire someone else. So that was, let's see. So they take up 2 spots, I think. So let's go with, I'm trying to remember. I believe I did one of these guys there last night as my 5th person. Let's go with a gunner. Why not? Ethan, that sounds good. We'll change it up a little bit. We'll do that. We'll change. I like that head, the hair, brown hair. I like a lot of the art in this game, especially some of the character designs. But the actual faces themselves, I'm not a huge fan of.
What do you think of this?
Sure. You can change the pitch too, so we can go down here.
What do you think of this?
Or we can go all the way up.
What do you think of this?
We don't have a whole lot of time though, so let's just put it all in C here. Or all in the technique. So we'll stick there, because I believe since the dragon rider or whatever, I think they take up 2 spots, so we might be a little limited with them. So we can go back. Some other things you can do, you can like, you have the ability to affect how much experience and reward bonus you get, but in order to do that, you need to complete certain tasks or objectives. So now let's go to our party menu. So you're gonna get a look at my first troop that I've set up. I think this game is kind of intended that you're gonna set up, you see you have slots for 6 different troops. So if we switch troops, we just got Gabriel there, but we're gonna change that in just a second. But this is my troop one, and I think it's set up, especially the online portion. You want to have multiple troops because I think some of them you will send out into battle, and they'll just battle, and then like maybe a couple hours later, maybe you'll come back, or a day later, you'll come back and you'll bring them back in from the battle, and then they'll have different rewards, or maybe if they won, or maybe if they lost, you'll be notified of all of those things, and maybe you'll get special items or more experience for them. It's a good way to train them. So I haven't really experimented a lot with that, so we won't get too deep into the online stuff in this video. So my first troop, I've got Olivia, Rachel, Patrick, and Jack. So that's a rogue, medic, fighter, and hunter. And they've done pretty well for me so far. They're a pretty cool group. But let's look at troop 2. So let's go to... not formation, it would be members. So let's go, is it Olivia? Yeah. This is a mounted unit. It requires 2 units of space to add them to the group. Is this okay? Yep. Yeah, so we'll only be able to have up to 3. But we'll see how that works. So we've got a gunner, dragon mage, and arcanist. That's team 2. And you can edit their name and stuff, and then we can go in, we can look at their equipment, all that jazz. That's kind of what, I mean, that should give you a pretty good overview of like, okay, this is how you edit troops, this is how you make new ones, you can just hire them if you got the money to do so, and things like that. You can go into formation, you have an invasion formation and then defensive formation. So you can edit that out if you want. But we're going to go and we're going to use Troop 1, just in the interest of time. So this video isn't, like, way too long. But I think that's kind of enough. So we can go to the quest menu here. So we have campaign quest. We have versus quest. From what I understand, these are obviously time limited. But I think they take other players' troops and then it basically lets the AI control them. I think it's something like that. Again, I haven't really messed with those just yet. There's a lot of stuff to this game. There are still things I'm learning. There are still things, even as you saw, like 7 or so hours in, that I'm still finding out about, or they're still being introduced. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It only takes about an hour and a half for them to kind of let you go and let you just do your own thing. But there's a lot of mechanics here, so it gets pretty deep. But anyways, so you have campaign, you have single. These are just kind of side missions you can do. You might want to do them to help level up a little bit. And then we have travel. And so in travel, there's no limits or anything. You can just kind of stay out in the field and just fight and look for items and do things like that. So let's do infiltration mountain range. Let's look at that. So it gives you some ideas of what your quest is. You got a recommended level of 9. That's around, typically the levels I think are around where your party members are going to be. I think there might be some scaling involved. I saw something last night that seemed to hint that some of the quests might scale their levels to your troop. You have success conditions, failure conditions, field details. Got your rewards. Let's see. Our current troop that we're going to use. And I think at some point, once your squad rank gets high enough, you can start adjusting difficulty. I don't know what rank I need to be. It hasn't really told me, but that option is there at some point. So let's go ahead and dispatch. So we're going to have 200 turns to finish this. So far, the turn limit has not been a problem at all. It has not been any issue at all, so. But it is there. Alright, so we're just gonna kind of skip through this text here since it is a side mission. There's not gonna be, at least thus far, the side missions haven't had a whole lot of story or important story details in them. So we just gotta reach the target location. Failure condition is if the party dies, or if we use up too many turns. So, or I guess if we counter. Oh, okay. So this one's a little bit different. I guess we cannot encounter an enemy. And spy quest, you must evade all. Okay, so this is new. Again, I'm still running into things I haven't seen. So we'll have to do this really quick and then do another mission so we can show the battle system off. Encountering a single enemy will result in failure, so be careful you aren't engaged. Okay.
The troop is ready for combat. Let's go,
So this is how the exploration works. You're just kind of moving along,
This is
almost like a board game kind of style thing, right? And so those are your enemies. But let's actually, you know what? Just for the sake of time, let's see if I can't just run away, abandon quest. Just because I want to be able to show battles and stuff, and I don't want the video to be too long. So we'll do the other quest that was there. Alright. So let's do... actually, you know, let's just do the travel. That way we don't have a limit or anything. And so these locations start to open up as you go through. It'll show you different resources that are in each area, the enemy level, bounties, a treasure chest, and things like that. So let's go... we'll go here, I guess. That way we don't have to worry about time limits or anything like that. We can just kind of look at what the gameplay of this game is like. So as you saw, there was kind of a gridded out system where you're moving a piece along these areas. If you do, I'm trying to remember what button it is. There's a way to actually like make it look like a grid, like pull up grid, like a grid overview of this. And look at it. I can use the right analog stick to kind of look around so we can see where things are. So there's these resources you can collect. You can use those for crafting and things like that. There's also these treasure chests. Some of them you can just open. Some require TP. You get TP from winning battles. So let's just start going. So you move like this. You'll see your party. You'll see your troops moving along the bottom. They're all HP. The action count is unlimited because we're just using the free roam quest. Typically that would show you how many turns you have left. Usually the turn limit's 200. Again, so far, like I've said, played for about 7 hours. I haven't really run into a quest where that's been an issue. But I imagine that maybe late game, maybe that becomes a thing where you have to be very mindful of how many turns you're using. Morale is a system where it kind of affects the efficiency of your party. If a party member dies, the morale goes down, and that kind of affects how long they can move, how far they can move, and maybe some damage output as well. So let's go ahead and fight an enemy. Let's look at this combat system. So we saw earlier, looking at the troops, you were able to do different formations and kind of customize those. So that's kind of where this comes into play. So we've got, here are our enemies we're gonna fight, and then here's our troop. So I can use the right analog stick to kind of look around, see what enemies, look at their, if they have any skills or assist or status, things like that, the HP they've got. And then we can also, like, if they have skills equipped, we can actually look at them specifically. So they've got ranged up, increased damage from ranged attacks by 50%. So you can look at that. Along the bottom, you see the turn order. So that moves left to right. The bar above that, the blue bar that's kind of halfway full, that shows your action gauge, basically. So that's how far you can move and then how many attacks you can use. So you'll see that once I start attacking. And then the bottom left, for Patrick, he has a slash, a guard, and a self-heal. Those are some of the abilities and skills he has equipped, and that's all going to depend on what class you're using. So let's just go ahead and start. We're gonna walk up. So all those attacks I was using circle, or using whatever button is tied to that skill, In his case, what's interesting is he has a slash attack that knocks an enemy upwards. If I just kept spamming circle, I would end up missing. So there's a little bit of timing involved, where if you knock someone upwards, you might want to wait a little bit and then do your next attack to ensure that you hit them as they're coming down. So sometimes it's good to mash, sometimes it's good to actually be very mindful of that. And you'll see that with the archer as well. So let's go forward again. Now with her, I'm just going to kind of mash. It doesn't really matter. These guys as well, I've got a skill called auto guard in them. So basically, once they're done, once they kill an enemy, or once they're done attacking, they're just going to automatically switch to a guard stance. So my medic here, she can use heal potions, but she can also throw like acid and poison vials. And she's also got more skills than just those three. So I can hit R, or I can hold it down, and that will switch to another set of skills that I can equip as I'm learning them for her as she's leveling up and things like that. So let's go ahead. We're going to move forward. Circle. So here's the interesting thing. Specifically for the medic, when I'm using acid throw right now, or I could also do poison throw, I guess. So it's going to show you the location it's going to land in the enemies or even your party members, because there is friendly fire in this game. It's going to show what's going to get affected by it, what is at risk of getting hit. I can't shorten this or anything. I can't, you know, for her specifically, it is stuck to this specific lane, so that's kind of where she can throw. So we're going to do the acid. So it hits the guy in front, almost kills him, not quite. So the interesting thing, I've gotten far enough where I've kind of unlocked this option or ability called this assist change or something, where basically if you're attacking an enemy and you get them close enough to death, one of your fellow troop members has the ability to kind of hop in and finish them off. So you can choose who you want. I don't know if I always choose whoever is kind of closer. I don't know if that has any effect on it. You also notice that on the top right it says that they are leaderless. That means I killed their leader, so their morale is going to go down as well. Now for the archer, he can actually switch what lane he's going to shoot at. So I can switch that. Again, I can't choose the range. It's kind of stuck at this length, but I can choose which of the 3 lanes I want to attack. And so this is also going to be key. I'm just using a shoot ability. The long snipe is just one straight line. I guess I could also use poison shot. That's probably similar to shoot. Let's do that. Oh no, poison shot's actually a bit different. It's actually a little closer. Well, let's get closer then. Let's use poison shot. And as you see here, the timing is also kind of important. So poison shot's a bit weaker, but it does seem that might be pretty effective as far as just poisoning him in general. Not that it matters, because we did kill him. So then you get your kind of battle results, the TP you earned, HP recovered after a battle, so items found, and then of course experience gained. So we're close to leveling, so you'll see what that looks like. We'll probably do enough for a few battles and call it there. You'll also run into kind of these pieces. Kind of remind me of like chess pieces in a way. But you might find medics, and so typically these medics will ask you to donate some sort of money, and then they will heal your party. She has actually a specific amount. I ran into a medic last night that was like 3 different tiers that I could donate. So I guess we can always rely on that if you find yourself in trouble, or come back to her, I guess. So here's some resources. We got 4 rosary beads, 6 fire melting rocks, 3 lithium. But now that we have 3 TP, we can head towards this chest after this fight, and we can open that chest up now and just spend TP on it. And so there are also, you know, You got criticals, you've got back, like if you attack them from behind, you're going to be more effective. All the kinds of things that you would expect from like a strategy RPG kind of like this as here. I haven't really found myself having too much trouble as far as the main campaign's concerned. I've kind of leveling with the enemies, as it were, and I'm not really... Oh, let's redo that. You can hit select if you don't like how things are going and you want to kind of change it a little bit. So you get your action gauge back if you do that, which is pretty nice. I haven't really had trouble with this game at all. It's been relatively easy, at least some of this basic stuff. There is a lot to grasp, so maybe some of the difficulty is just figuring out all the mechanics and how they work. And again, and it does feel like the online portion is actually a major part of this game as well, so it might just be a thing where like most of your time spent might be doing the online stuff. I don't know. I don't think you specifically ever fight a specific person. Usually is an AI controlled version of someone's troop, I believe. That's how that works. So we got somebody leveled up, so you can look at how poorly I've been setting this up. So you get more bonus points at each level. I've mostly for these guys, I just usually choose 1, 2, or even 3. Usually 1 specifically, just to focus everything in. If you fill up all the stars, it gives you an extra boost to that specific stat. So typically, more often than not, I just find whatever one I feel like boosting. Not a lot of planning went involved into my characters. At least these first 4. I just picked ones I thought looked cool, and they've been doing their job. So let's open up this chest. What do we got? Recovery drops. So oftentimes what will happen is when you finish a quest, the items that you find on the game board, you'll sell them back for money more often than not. And if you look here, so if we go to quest menu, we can check our troop condition. So it's going to show your HP, your level, the different classes. If you go to use skills, everyone has a skill. So we have enemy search, which is investigate your surroundings and briefly see all enemies. You may have noticed that there are some enemies that are actually hidden. You'll see the spot that they move to, but you won't actually see the enemy piece itself. Earth heal with power of ley lines, increase your troops' HP recovery by 30%. Max charge, so it increases your attack, defense, and magic defense for 3 battles. And then kill bombing. Perform a ranged attack that deals huge damage to an enemy mercenary. So this all is going to be dependent on the class type you choose and whatnot. So that's kind of the ones I have right now. If you go to use supplies, these are the items at my disposal. So I can use an alarm bell. Reverses the movement of all symbol enemies. Typically you'd have healing items and things like that, or items to boost your morale. You can look at your quest info, things like that. So. And then, of course, you can go to party member. One thing I didn't, party menu. One thing I did not show, and it's probably important to show, is your skill layout. So you have technical and simple. And that, just what you need to know, simple, this kind of looks like this. You have your main. These are the 4 options. So these are going to be tied to circle for her. So you've got cut, slice, dagger fling, and blind cut. And so these are what I have unlocked now. You're going to get them as you level characters. So you can kind of, put that in whatever order you want. It's going to show you the gauge, usage, your power, range, stuff like that, different types. So maybe there's a better way to set this up. That's just how I have it set up right now. Triangles, hide, squares, guard. Again, you can kind of set that up however you want. I've got a needle trap if I wanted to use it. Instead of hide, I could switch that out, just like that. Assist is just cut. So again, we saw the assist before. That's kind of what she would use if she was chosen to assist, and we got some support stuff. So like I said, most of them are just set to auto guard, but we've got some other stuff. There's a paralysis proof, so we can equip that as well. That's actually something I forgot to do. I learned that last night. And you can look, you can set the skills for everybody. And so technical looks like this. There are 2 pages for technical. Again, circle, triangle, square. And you'd hold R to switch to page 2. So again, look at, we got resist zone. We can equip that. Acid throw is her assist. We can switch over to my fighter. Kind of see what he's looking at here. There's total guard. Let's try that. And then get another technical. So it's kind of what that looks like. Again, I figured it's probably important to show. Let's do a couple more battles. Bounty heads. The symbol enemy represented by a gold piece with a gold speech bubble is a bounty head. Bounty heads are very strong enemies and give items as a reward when they are defeated. Each area has 3 bounty heads with a fixed level. Test your skills and try to defeat them. Okay. So I imagine this guy might actually be pretty tough. So let's go ahead and we'll end on the bounty head, I guess. Change and condition. The enemy has taken wood. Yeah, so sometimes these enemies will actually take the resources that are on the board, and you'll have to fight them to get those resources back. But before we do that... we don't have the TP for healing stuff. Let's use max charge so we can increase our attack and defense. I'll have to use my medic to heal my fighter because I don't have any supplies to do so. So let's do this. I don't know what level they're gonna be. I'd assume probably in a similar area, similar level area that we were in. Maybe a little bit higher. We'll see. Level 8. Okay. Oh, look at these. Got some different looking enemies here. Again, I really like just the way this game looks. In particular, the enemy designs, character designs. I'm pretty big fan, so. The combat system is cool too. You know, I do wonder... I'm assuming / hoping it does get a little bit more challenging, maybe a bit more strategy involved, because so far I feel like I haven't had to use a lot of strategy here. And you know, that could change at any moment, but at least thus far it definitely has been on the easier side. So I have no idea how long the game is either. Hasn't really been any indication of that. I've been playing for, again, 7 hours. I don't know if this is going to be a big 30 to 40 hour epic or if it's a little shorter than that with the online being such a big role. But I would like to do a review at some point. I just don't know how long that will take. So we'll see. But so far I do like it. I like the combat. Part of me wonders if the combat might get a little old after a while, but so far it's pretty cool. Some cool enemy designs and whatnot. So what that is basically if you are attacked and you are going to die, sometimes you'll have the chance to survive with like 1 or 2 HP left. So we're gonna go ahead and heal and heal my guy here. Alright, so let's back up a little bit and see what we're looking at here. I want to take their leader out. Again, as I mentioned, you know, taking their leader out is a crushing blow to their morale. And so you typically, I feel like that's kind of what you want to aim at first, at least. So we'll go ahead and do that. Oh, I'm not doing a whole lot of damage to her, am I? I got close. No assist. So sometimes you'll see the enemies create barriers like that with like the spider web. Sometimes there will be other obstacles just sitting there, as you saw in an earlier battle. Sometimes you'll actually be in view of like a cannon or some sort of ballista, and so you actually have to be very mindful of where your party members end their turn, because once like another turn switches, the cannon will fire, and so if you're in the line of view, you're going to take a significant damage. So you have to be mindful of that. We didn't see that in any of the fights so far in this video, but that is very much present. Yeah, so these guys definitely are, they take more hits for sure. So this actually might be a kind of challenging battle. The first of very few that I've seen so far. Alright. Oh no. They're gonna take my leader out. Okay. Yep. Yeah, this is gonna go real bad. This will be my first death, by the looks of it. Escaping, move to the... okay. Alright, move to the edge of the screen to escape from battle. So I guess we'll show that, because I probably don't want to die here. I don't really know what the penalties of dying are. Other than just failure of a quest. So I guess you need to at least survive until your next turn.
Let's retreat.
Okay. So as I said, you know, I'm 7 hours in. It is very possible this could get really hard. That battle certainly was something I was not prepared for. These out-leveled me in general, but typically other than with those exceptions, you know, even in the main quest there have been enemies that are like, these are harder enemies. And even then they weren't too big of a deal. So perhaps that is where you find your challenge with battles like that. But as you saw, I can continue going through here. Unfortunately, now my morale is taking a shot, as you see. So that's going to definitely impact the performance of my troop here. And of course, I have no items really other than this one. So I think it's best that we just return to base. But that's Grand Kingdom. It's pretty cool. I like it a bit. I don't love it, but it is pretty interesting. It's unique. It's a lot different than a lot of other games I've played. So we'll give it credit for that. Big fan of the art in general. Story-wise, it's yeah. There's a story there, but it's very it's not much. But nonetheless, I think, you know, the actual, like, the combat and traveling around during a quest, like, there was, like, that grid board kind of deal. Like, that stuff's pretty interesting. Managing your troops and that stuff seems like it could be pretty cool. I've at least enjoyed it so far, but I don't know if that's something that I'm going to get tired of by the end of this game or not. But so far, I've been enjoying it for what it is. One thing you're not seeing is actually, like, there's, like, a daily login bonus that you get. I think I've already got it for today, though, so you didn't see it yet. Usually, it shows up right there with all the other different things. New items at the shop. This is what the shop looks like. Here are different weapons and stuff. But yeah, so, like, again, a lot to it. I've enjoyed it so far. I would like to do a review for this, but again, I don't know how long this game is. Typically, whenever we get an NIS game for review, it's like, alright, this is going to be a journey. This is going to be a lengthy game, so I'm assuming it's probably pretty long. I'm guessing I'm still pretty early on, if I had to guess. But I would like to do a review. When that will come, I'm not sure, but I wanted to at least get a video out to show people what this game is if you were not familiar with Grand Kingdom at all, if you didn't really know what to expect from this game, or you heard of it and it's like, what is... This looks kind of interesting, what actually is it? Hopefully that gives you a pretty good overview, at least the start of it. Again, there's a big online component to this that I've only scratched the surface of, so there's a lot more to this game than just this 40-minute video had to show. But for what it is, it's pretty interesting. It is out on PlayStation 4 and Vita. I believe the Vita version is 40 and the PS4 version is 50. I do not believe there is cross-buy or cross-save. I know there's not cross-save. I did read up on that. I don't believe there's cross-buy or anything like that. So, kind of choose the one that you want. It is out now. And again, this is a Vita version, so at least it runs fine. I mean, the loading, there's a lot of loading, but it hasn't really been an issue for me. So, with that said, I am Curtis from PSN Stores. Thank you for watching as always, and I will see you next time. If you like this or any of our other YouTube videos, subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to support what we do in general, be sure to hop on over to patreon.com/PSNstores. Your patronage helps keep our podcast 100% ad-free. Thanks for watching.